What is normally one of the biggest nights in the year when it comes to politics just kind of came and went like a fart in the wind. It's actually fairly emblematic of the entire Biden presidency. That could be good and that can be bad because there's a lot of stuff that ends up slipping. But then at the end of the day, if you didn't tune into it, like I did, you didn't really end up missing all that much. Like, my life is no better or no worse for not tuning into that. Frankly, given the fact of what I was doing last night when when the new propaganda was dropping, because let's be completely honest, that's kind of exactly what it was. I was cutting up videos, hey man, putting out my thoughts into the world, and I think that that is a hell of a better way to be spending your time than listening to some 80-year-old tell you about the future of the country. For him, the future of the country is getting to the end of the week. There's a sick, perverse side of me that if, the Democrats decide to steal it in 2024, if he's going to be up there at the ripe old age, if he is going to be there pushing 85, he'll even be 85 theoretically if he gets a second term. Part of me wants to see that because we are on the cusp of something very historic, ladies and gentlemen. We have the opportunity in our lifetime to have a president in office pass away from natural causes. Not like an errand shot from a hotel window. Not a good patriotic individual at the Ford Theater that didn't want to see any more American tyranny. No. We have the opportunity to have a world leader pass away of old age, and it totally be 100% believable. Strange times, ladies and gentlemen. Strange times indeed. So I'm not going to run down point by point. I know he said a bunch of nonsense that a bunch of people clipped up and were really enraged about at the time, and then an hour passed, and then 2 hours passed, and nobody cared. I didn't see anything outside of, okay, I think local time for me, when he was out there spouting his nonsense up there at the podium and people were heckling him, that was about the most interaction that was on there. It came and went. It was a trend on Twitter for about 10 seconds, but then everything was just kind of back to normal. Like, there's so much stuff that happens in the media that gets put on by that media that nobody cares about. And that's kind of that's the overarching narrative of what I want to say here with this video right now. Because after hearing the old man talk, nobody's really getting the full grasp of, okay, cool, he's saying that there's some things that are going to be happening. Great. How is that different than yesterday? And how is that going to make my tomorrow any better? Well, the old man, the adults are all back in the room. The very tiny lady sitting in a very large chair next to a man that looks incredibly unimpressed. Watching a man who's very unimpressive in and of himself barely string together several coherent sentences. Oh, he barely stuttered his way through that. But, of course, he did get a couple of good clips, and we'll take a look at that. But the Snap surveys, this one's from CNN. So they really had a cherry-picked audience on this. Biden's State of the Union speech received lower, very positive ratings than his predecessors. Which ones are you talking about? President Joe Biden's State of the Union speech received lower, very positive ratings than his predecessors' speeches, including former President Donald Trump, in a CNN survey. Okay, are they talking about the same CNN survey that even Trump would have been party to at the same time? Because that would be interesting. 72% reported feeling, oh God, and of course it's CNN. So what do you feel like? Well, I felt like at least somewhat positive about Biden's speech. 72% of people were like, well, he got through it, I guess. Is that the range of emotions? Are those the defining characteristics of what it means to be somewhat positive? And 38% of those 72% of people said that they felt very positive. Great. So you're over the halfway mark when it comes to your presidency. And 2/5 of your electorate, your most vocal supporters, actually give a crap about what you're doing. It's very interesting to see your fall from grace, because I thought 81 million votes couldn't be wrong. Certainly can't be questioned, of course. However, it is lower than the average from past presidents. Trump's State of the Union speech average, for example, saw 74% expressing a positive view. And this was on CNN. Amazing. But of those, 54% felt very positive about it compared to a 38% of those from Biden's Tuesday speech. Yo, that's the big difference right there. 16 points. That just goes to show you that the people who support Trump actually support Trump, not just your default Democrats who are like, yeah, I'll just vote blue no matter who, and yeah, he's not doing a great job, but I'm not going to change my stupid voting patterns and improve my lot in life. I just want my opinions downloaded into the back of my head so I can continue to yap the exact same talking points that make sure my head is chopped off last. Yuck. But what did the big homie, what did the guy who's actually popular have to say to this stuff? Because he gave his rebuttal, his, as he says it, the real State of the Union. Well, what did President Trump have to say? Did he make some salient points? Former President Donald Trump responded to President Joe Biden's State of the Union address Tuesday night. I don't know who gave the official Republican address. I thought it was supposed to be MTG when she was dressed kind of like Cruella DeVille. I don't know, man. She's kind of batty, and I don't quite know what to think about her. I think she's more good than bad, but the grand scheme of things, if you had a choice of everybody's accessible, I don't think she'd make the roster. She's fine for what's there, but she's not ideal. We'll go with that. So yes, focusing on mass illegal immigration taking place at the southern border. Probably wasn't mentioned during the State of the Union. I know what definitely wasn't mentioned. Not a single word on the Chinese balloon at all whatsoever. That didn't exist, bro. See, that one's already out of the news cycle because the news cycle doesn't want to talk about anything bad that Biden does. And whenever they do want to bring up something bad that Biden has done, oh, it's done very overtly in order to bring up something bad that somebody else did, so that they just think that the left hand washes the right hand. And oh man, if somebody else did it before, there was documents found in Biden's well, Mar-a-Lago was raided, so there you go. See, it's all fine now. We got to the bottom of that. Here's the real State of the Union. Over the past 2 years under Biden, millions and millions of illegal aliens from 160 different countries have stormed across our southern border, said Trump, the lone GOP candidate officially in the 2024 primary field. Oh, but apparently next week there's supposed to be another wig thrown into the race, but I got a video in the can on that one, so stay tuned. Since Biden assumed office, yes, ascended to, but assumes a very good word. In January of 2021, 4.2 million migrants have been apprehended by Border Patrol agents along the southern border, marking a record high. Yes, month after month after month, they continue to go up, hitting at least 6 digits every single time. And what does Biden want to do about it? I'll take one trip down to a city and I won't go see anything just as long as everything's cleared up, man. And Kamala, well, she's in charge of the border, but she'll get down there about the same time that she goes and visits Europe. It's a good administration that really cares about the entire country. Both coasts, they care a lot about. Another border issue Trump highlighted as the response to Biden Tuesday is the fentanyl epidemic. Oh, I think I got a clip for that one because, this is how the Republicans spot. She looks like a child. Get her a phone book to sit on. Holy. But Biden was spinning on. And look at how many views these clips get. Like, this is the official shit, man. Let's get nothing. Holy.
Fentanyl is killing more than 70,000 Americans a year.
What's
you got it.
It's your fault. Lol. I don't have a pre-canned answer to that one, man. That's don't do that to me. Anyways, back to my story. Bruh. Biden Tuesday, fentanyl epidemic. The Center for CDC, whatever, reported 71,238 U.S. deaths from synthetic opioids, primarily fentanyl, alone in 2021. 71,000 people dead. And what does Biden want to do? Not pay any attention to the southern border. Oh, the fence looks great. I gotta go now. Make sure that you don't let Arizona stock any shipping containers at the border. It doesn't look very good. Drug cartels are now raking in billions and billions of dollars from smuggling poison to kill our people and kill our children. Yeah, why can't they just go back to doing cocaine and smoking pot like good kids in the 80s? My God, make America great again. Production of fentanyl typically starts in China, where precursor chemicals are manufactured. We know fentanyl regulation, it's not that good. It's actually pretty terrible, when you think about it. Trump then turned his attention to crime, and it's going great, asserting that savage killers, rapists, and violent criminals are being released from jail to continue their crime wave. Yeah, bail reform, man. Cashless bail. It's working wonders in New York City. Biden and the radical Democrats have wasted trillions of dollars and caused the worst inflation in half a century. Where's the lie so far? Real wages are down 21 months in a row. Gas prices have soared and are now going much higher than even before. And the typical American family is paying $2,200 in increased energy and food costs each year. Yeah, but who cares about that, man? The adults are back in the room. Orange Man's really bad, though. 45th president, whose Mar-a-Lago residence was raided in August as part of the classified documents probe, called out Biden's weaponized Justice Department for persecuting his political opponents. Yeah, it really seems like that, man. And asserted that the administration is waging war on free speech. Yeah, it kind of sounds like that, and kind of have the documents in order to prove that. But these will be the exact same talking points that'll just come up month over month, year over year, until Joe can be confronted with it on a debate stage. If he gets that far. Because if you take a look at another poll that's out there, half of Americans say that they are worse off, highest since the Great Recession. So this is the last time Joe Biden was in the White House as well. Huh, interesting. At least he was just in the VP position. And now when he takes the reins of everything, America's in a worse position. That's good, man. That's great. You love to see it. So yeah, if you take a look at it from an emotional standpoint, everybody's feeling worse about everything. You know, the sky's going to collapse any day now, blah, blah, blah. So what can the actual American person do about it? Well, work on themselves, make themselves indispensable at their jobs. So when eventually these job cuts do come, you aren't cast aside. We're right in the middle of a hustle economy, the gig economy. How much time are you wasting every single day where you can be making money? Because if you're waiting for the government to come and save you, it's never going to come, man. Nobody's coming to help you. You have to be the one to help yourself. If you think that, yeah, okay, you run the presidential election in 2024, DeSantis or Trump ends up winning, or it's another 4 years of Biden. Okay, they either repeal some laws or put in some new ones. You are still going to be here at the end of the day. What are you going to do about it? Make those changes starting today. But that also doesn't mean we can't laugh at this old bastard. How about that for a second, man? Because really, just to drive home this point, you think the Republicans that are in office right now even give one single shit about you? There's the leader of the Senate right there. Everybody else at least has, red, white, and blue ties. He's out there still standing with Ukraine. Holy, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, Mitch? Just retire already. One clip that I seen make the rounds from this, noxious speech from yesterday was this one right here. Make no mistake, if they try to raise the cost of something, I will veto it. Like, okay, I don't know how late in the speech this was. I don't know, maybe the Adderall and all the different drugs were starting to wear off or something like that, but this is definitely Joe being Joe.
Make no mistake. If you try anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it.
Yo, what even was it? If you that's the kind of rejoinder I make if I'm trying to pretend to be an old man. He's actually an old man, and he did that unironically. Holy, good thing he's not important. Oh wait, he's the president of the United States.
Anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it.
It's close, man. It's just like Kevin McCarthy's back there. It's like, yo, and then Kamala's standing up because she knows that it's an applause break. I guess she needs to readjust that fist that's affixed to the bottom of that chair. But your speech isn't well received at all if the most viral clip is your wife, kissing another man right in his mouth. Like, what is even going on? Look at that. Yo, man, that is a look. Those are two people with eyes closed. And isn't that another Biden right there? Stage left. Probably doesn't think anything of that, but everybody else just peeking that is like, wow, you really kissed her right in the mouth, huh? Interesting. It's like, normally you put that dress on anybody else and they're out there, giving men the sloppy toppy. Normally you got to pay $20 per dance for that to happen, but holy, she's a doctor, but she belonged to the streets. But there was also something fairly substantial that ended up happening last night. And this might even look completely and totally unrelated, but it's actually, fairly substantial. And normally, given any other point in time in history, like, I remember peeking this list well before LeBron James was even sniffing at getting the scoring title, and the Lakers lost this game that he ended up, crossing that mythical threshold. Like, Karl Malone got close. Kobe got within 5,000 points, and LeBron James, 20 years being top tier scorer. This should have been something that's celebrated over and over and over again. There should have been a big build up to this moment, but there was nothing, man. This happened last night. This is one of the most prolific records, and it fell like the tree in the forest. Nobody heard it. Nobody cared. Like, it's not trending. The State of the Union address isn't trending either. Nobody cares. They're just on to the next thing. But the media wants you to care about this stuff. They want you to care about politics. They want you to care about sports. But at a time where entertainment and knowledge acquisition has become a decentralized practice, the media continues to try its old tired tricks. And the more tired and the older that they get, the more sporadic and spastic they get. I don't like LeBron James, but that's a tremendous accolade that he ended up achieving there. And nobody cares. Like, absolutely nobody cares. And I understand that he is a fairly toxic individual, but he's also the darling of every single sports network that's out there. Fox Sports, ESPN, definitely. I'm sure they were probably pushing this really hard. Oh, watch the Thunder Lakers game, and LeBron James is probably going to break the scoring record. It came and it went, even with all of the hype, all of the hullabaloo, and nobody cares the next day. And they're just on to the next thing. Guess what? A couple of names are different in a book. Okay, Joe Biden's speech went over like a lead balloon. Great, wonderful, fantastic. You would have let it cross over the entirety of the country before he would have shot it down. But that's about as well as it went. LeBron James, one of the most hyped and self-overrating players of all time, breaks one of the most mythical records in all of sports. He's still going to get called a punk, and he's still going to have bad takes on things. Great, wonderful, fantastic. The media is dead and dying, bro. And anybody who's dumb enough to use their tactics, and oh boy, what a nice warm handoff to the next video that's going to be out here. You got Timmy Pool, who's just lined up to adopt all of those failed policies, and well, he's going to end up facing a very similar fate. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.